What up, what up, what up?
Sorry for ending the last live stream abruptly. I accidentally hit the end and confirmed it when I was adjusting my phone. Hope everybody's doing well today. Yeah, that's why I have these tweezers, so in case I accidentally pull it off, I can hold it back onto the tool. want the hot glass sticking to cold graphite. To make sure it meets the minimum dimension requirements and doesn't exceed the max. Don't want cold metal to touch the hot glass and crack it. So it seems like I need to make that middle section a little bit bigger. Alright, I'm a glass blower. This is borosilicate COE 33. How y'all doing today? Where y'all coming from? I'm in Virginia in the US. My name is Zach. Go. And go. Alright, who's ready for the next one, y'all? Smash some thumbs, hit some emojis, ask some questions, talk to other people in the comment section. What up with it? Simple coffee. Alright, now we're making the next one. Actually, alright, this is what I'm making real quick. So what I'm making, right? This is the joint that I'm going to be putting on that tool. that tool right there, right? So that's this joint. Then what I'm doing is I'm tearing off, because it's an open tube, tearing off the end, so now it's closed off, and I'm having it be like a little short, padding it flat, and I'm making sure that it fits into this device, right? So if you were to take out the electronic heating chamber, you can put in this glass adapter, and if you know what this is, so this is a quartz nail adapter for your Puffco Peak Pro. Something that was originally released by me and my buddy Cole in 2018 as part of the first accessories, glass tops and whatnot for the Puffco Peak, the Focus Picarda. We introduced a lot of those concepts that you see other iterations for today. So that is what I'm making right now. I'm prepping the joints that ultimately I'm going to take to the wet saw to make a couple of these, and then later on today we're going to be making a few other things. A little POV. Right, so I start tearing it down, picking away. Right, when I'm picking away, I get this scrap on the end of my punty. The punty is this rod. I score it and I smash that scrap off into this bucket. This way I always have a fresh punty to pick things away. I have not, I guess maybe I should. This is a glassblowing lathe, garage studio setup. This is where some of the ones we just made are in the oven. Propane tank, barbecue griller, all feeds into through the splitters to my lathe. Oxygen concentrator, oxygen, that's how I'm tapped in, how I'm set up there. Going to my big vent, right? Then behind me, in this tent right here, we have the 3D printing set up with the ventilation for toxic fumes, also out under to the vent. So back to this for now, y'all. Appreciate that. I was not the biggest fan of Puffco for a while, because in 2018 we got a little bit of hate for introducing the aftermarket products, because the idea was it's perfect out of the box, so like screw you guys. So I stopped doing Puffco stuff for a while, but I just started again. So maybe. want the glass sticking to the graphite. I don't want the graphite sticking to the glass. I need to try to have them both be around the same temperature. If one cools down a lot faster than the other, it's going to be hard to separate them, and I'm going to have to put both of them in my oven to cool down evenly as the kiln temperature increases evenly overnight. Tap it on. Alright. Second stage. First stage. Puffing while I'm doing it. I'm puffing while I'm picking, so I don't want to just be pulling at this, right? So if I'm pushing while I'm pulling, it's going to make less of a tug, so I don't want to pull it off of that graphite tool, right? Sure that's actually flat. Alright, how's everybody doing today? Where y'all coming from? Talk to each other, talk to each other. mean. That's what I'm talking about if it gets stuck. So we'll try a few more taps, and if not, we're going to switch out tools. That tool is officially done for today. Bam! Another one right here, folks. All right, all right, all right. How many more? We got 3 more to do, and then we're on to the next project. Or do you want me to just move on to the next project? Show some thumbs. Show some thumbs. Alright, this seems like it's boring everybody. So let's move on to something else. Is the angle better zoomed out? This is a blowout, a rod blowout. I'm turning this rod into tubing. Stay with me, stay with me. sure it's sealed the back, so when I puff in, I have back pressure, right? So this is transparent light blue. This is the base that I have already prepped. Right? Let's wipe my hand a little bit though. Clean this up. Iso alcohol 99%. Yes, that's still hot. I did just take it out of the fire. Right, this is not, but I want to wipe this down real quick. And I think I'm going to wind up giving this one away if you want to follow my Instagram. I'm doing a giveaway on it right now for another topper. Alright, so this is locked in, this is locked in. So you know, this has the thickness of it. I don't know if you can see from here, I'll take the phone down. But because I have this thick spot that I pushed, I'm gonna have to warm this up a little slowly bring my Bunsen over until that gets the temperature. I obviously want to keep this hot, this was just hot. And then we'll get started, like really get started. So let me show you a finished version of what this is. First, let's get the lathe spinning. Right. So the flames are not actually touching that flat surface yet, but they will be touching this one, so I want to keep this hot. What up, everybody? Appreciate some thumbs, likes, subscribe, show me some love. I'm Zach. I'm a glass blower in Virginia. This is what we're looking at. So I just did a rod blowout for some secret white rod tubing. That was that little rod right there. So that tiny little rod just became that tube right there. So you see how it's spinning straight? I did a hella good job with this one, yeah. Like, look, hold up. Dead on. Perfect. Boom. Alright, so I was saying I don't want to blast the one on the left yet with the heat because of that thick bump I pushed, right? So first I'm gonna have it cooking in the center. Then I'm gonna slide my Bunsen over to the left. I'm gonna rage it a bit until it gets like red hot, because ultimately what I'm gonna do, you see how tiny that hole is compared to this tubing? The reason I did that is because when I start blasting it with intense heat, and the centrifugal force of the spinning, it's gonna open up that hole. So I started small because these two need to get so hot, right? So it's like soupy hot. And I'm mushing them together and pulling them apart a little bit and puffing. So I would rather like be raging that and opening it up while I'm raging it and then connect them two for a crispy seal. What up? Appreciate y'all. My name is Zach. I'm a glass blower. I'm in Virginia. I'm in the US. This is my garage studio. Take a little tour with me right quick. Take a little tour with me. So this is the garage, right? This is like the life when I first step in. So boom, right? Open the door, shut the door behind me. Come in, right? Boom. Open the fridge, grab the coffee I already prepped inside, shut the door, boom. Come in, boom. Turn on my little propane griller, which could last like a couple days to 2 weeks, depending on what I'm doing. Turn on my oven, boom. 1050F, 1100 if I'm trying to kiln strike something. Then I walk over and I flip the switch on my oxygen regulator. So now I got the oxygen. Both of those lines, red is propane, green is oxygen, attached to my splitters. which go to my main torches. What's up, y'all? My name is Zach. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. Let me shout out some names real quick. What up, Noah? Right now I'm making a topper for one of the devices. I'll turn around in a second. Just want to shout y'all out real quick. What up, Nicholas? Appreciate that, dude. I appreciate the ofs. What up, Flavio? Oi. What am I making, Michael? I'll show y'all in a second. Coffee? Yup, I'm about to have a coffee break as we speak. Interesting setup. Appreciate that. PuffCon? Possibly. I need to start traveling. Hopefully, if I can monetize, you know, really do well with this YouTube thing, I could start going to all of those events. Maybe even set something up in Virginia where we could all kick it, you know, for the low, do some like lessons and whatnot. Been pretty amazing. All right, you know, maybe I should go. Looks like fun, James. It is. Tony, what up? Dude, I'm 1000% agree. Y'all should check this out, subscribe, and keep coming at. Kivwan, can't pronounce that. Larry Angelo. You might be talking about, so he asked what was in my mouth. So this is what was in my mouth. You ever see like a black and mild like wood tip type, right? So this is like a plastic version of that, and it's a blow hose. It's like a mouthpiece. So I puff through here. It goes through that silicone hose, through that arrow, and that's how I puffed in through that tubing. So that's like how you blow glass. Very nice. Appreciate that, Swoop. Bear, what up? Larry, Swoop. Robert, hi. Can't pronounce that. Men can't. Jesus Christ. Little Glassblowing. I mean, bongs really are not my thing, to be honest. I'm more of like those toppers and like some other simple stuff. What up, Kenny? What up, Knight? What up, Mike? What up, Paco? What up, David? Alfredo está haciendo meta. Is that what's like going on meta? Hello from the Everglades. What up? I just moved from Orlando, Florida. My last job before becoming a glassblower was working front desk at the Wyndham Hotel on iDrive. Candace, I appreciate that. Shoot, if y'all have any tips, let me know. I'm always down to learn something. North Alabama, what's up? I'm in Woodbridge, Virginia. Holla, holla, holla. Tall and lanky, what up? I will. Mr. Spock, howdy humans. That's what I'm talking about. Talk to each other. Let's make this a community. CNC machine? Nah, this is a lathe working, like really for glass working machines. 2, haven't tried my friend's small shop and it's so cool. How did I hurt my thumb? Outside of this clean setup. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm actually, let's see what speed we're on right now. When I weld them together, so we're at like between 120 and 140, right? I'm ultimately gonna take it down to probably like there. Because again, centrifugal force, sometimes it helps things like melt faster and whatnot. But if that tubing wall is uneven, I don't want glass starting to be slung around like unevenly. So I'd rather go a little bit slower. But for now, why not kick that back up a tad? Appreciate that 5637 Anna. What up from Luxembourg? Palm Harbor, Florida. What up, what up? All right, back up topic goes so I could have my drink. Let me know what you think about the views in the comment section, by the way, like the angles and whatnot. You like it zoomed in better or zoomed out better? Hell yeah, appreciate that, appreciate that. Alright, time to slide this over to the left. Now the flames are actually kissing that Maria. What I do is these two jets a little bit more that way, these two jets a little bit more that way. Alright. In business, folks, in business. Alright, let me know where y'all coming from today. Now that I'm all bandaged up. Just gonna wipe off my glasses. How's everybody doing today? Where's everybody coming from right now? Bam Bam, you got an Instagram, man? Johnson in New York. Ernie in Fort Smith, Arizona. ATM from Rainforest. 30 volts in South Florida. What up, what up, what up? We got a diverse community up in this chat today. How y'all doing? Alright, let me know real quick. Have y'all been watching for a while? Have you seen the shop, or are you new? If you're new, I'll give you the quick studio tour. If enough of you are new. You know what's cool? In like 2 days, I'm gonna have my gear upgraded, and I will be able to holler from one of those like Lark M2 microphones. What do you think of how the audio's been so far? Alright, so what I'm making, hold on. First, if you partake, cheers. But, alright, this is what I'm making. I'm literally doing the same color. Secret white rod blowout, transparent light blue neck, and then for the base, it's going to be on this one, transparent light blue. This one was transparent black. No, it's not a bond. kind of mad at the Focus V team, but the truth is, a lot of people that have supported me along my way are Focus V users, so let's make the Focus V time. First we gotta pop a hole. Now we have to open that door. Now we have to open that hole. Alright, so the bottom for this top can't be more than 37.98 millimeters. Trying to hold my hand as still as possible. Right? This way, it's still spinning straight. And that open edge, that rim, is an even thickness. Alright, so smash some thumbs if you want me to take the phone down so you can see a POV perspective of what I just did and how it looks before I get started. Again, I'm gonna get this this bump red hot. This glass actually well, depending on the thickness, but typically melts faster than the blowout sections. Appreciate everybody tapping in today. Once again, I'm Zach. I'm in Virginia in the US. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate y'all helping me monetize this page. Appreciate some thumbs, some emojis, whatever. Alright, let me bless y'all with the POV right quick. Let me bless y'all with the POV. So that is the hole I just popped, opened up, and you saw me flare open with my tool. So this is the tool. This is called a reamer, right? So I was holding my reamer as still as I could while it was spinning, and I opened up that hole right there. That's the secret white blowout. I did a pretty decent job with the wall thickness being even, right? So now you see that tiny hole that we had also even. Oh, damn, I accidentally hit the mute button. Can you hear me now? Hold up. Alright, so what I was saying is, this was the blowout that I did, right? You just saw me ream that hole open, so that's the secret white rod blowout that I did. Tried to make it have an even wall thickness. I think I did a pretty good job. It's spinning pretty straight also. So the goal is to now mush it. I'm gonna mush it together with that tube right there. And that hole is smaller than the hole I popped here. So when I'm superheating that part, the left blue, and that hole is opening up to size to get kind of like the same size as the right, that's when I mush, puff, and pull. And then I'm gonna detach this tube like here, pull it to the right, and then finish doing the base bottom, right? And ultimately, I have a sticker on it. That's the secret white raw blowout, transparent light blue tip. Same thing there, except this was the transparent black base and that one is transparent light blue. Let me know what y'all thinking in the comments section. What's up? What's up? Appreciate everybody tapping in today. Let me know where y'all coming from. This is propane. Honestly, this is like the straightest it's spun in the past like 5 times I've done this. That was amazing, folks. I don't know if y'all could really appreciate what just happened there. So now I'm pulling this to the right with these flames. I'm getting it super high, super melty, getting it all liquidy, soupy, right? So this started off as 38 millimeters, and I need it to be closer to 42 millimeters. Let's test that and see how that is. Oh yeah. Alright, it meets the minimum. Now it can be larger than the maximum. So it is a little too big over here. So I'm going to paddle that down flat over it. The bomb official has a smaller outer diameter tolerance than the Cutco. Alright, pretty much Gucci. So I'm just going to warm this back up, flame polish a little bit if there's any stress, and I think I'm going to paddle this a little bit flatter. I did that is because I accidentally puffed that too hard, and if I put the flame to it, there would have been stuff stuck everywhere. So it's better to just try to blow away what you can and then come back to it, and voila. Everything is perfectly fine now. Tungsten pig is because as I heat it, at least in that section, that hole starts to close up. But that's the air intake hole. So I cannot have that be restricted. And the reason why I got the vacuum and I vacuumed that up quickly is because that when the glass is like that, it can just float around. Right? So you don't need that. You get that power stance, that power V stance. Who's still with me? Who's still with me? What up, yo? Alright. That was fun. Oh, see, I see glass floating around right now. You know what? Oh yeah, yeah, appreciate that, man. Yes, paddle tools, graphite. Yeah, exactly. With the compressed air gun comment, exactly. Um, yes, also exactly. That's why I heat up the calipers. Um, yup, it is. This is what we just made. This was the secret white raw blowout, the transparent light blue tip. And instead of a transparent black base, we had the transparent light blue base that we assembled. So the next step tomorrow is I would take it out, I'll score and snap that neck, and then I'll bend the neck to make sure it comes back perfectly, you know, like if you're sipping on it. Dang, been 90 minutes for this live. It's 4 o'clock, y'all. It's Sunday. I appreciate all of y'all tapping in today. Please like, subscribe, smash some buttons for me before we all dip out. And I'll see y'all homies tomorrow. Man, hopefully tomorrow I'll have some dope equipment and we could do like a little review and talk about the new setup also. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Everybody's starting to get to know each other. It's dope. It's dope to have a new little community, man. Anyway, signing out. Take care, y'all.